Tom and G will talk about the gallery and their paintings and hopefully a bit about themselves. So,
thank you very much, thank you. So, welcome to our little gallery. It's been fantastic. So excited to be here. We're a bit local. I'm down in Hampshire and Keith's over in Brighton, and we don't get up to London very often. So it's been really exciting to be up here. I'd like to thank Canary Wharf because it's Canary Wharf that given us this. And I just wanted to tell you a little bit about the association. So you've got it in your head what we're all about. So the Map and Foot Painting Artists was established in 1957. It was a German artist who grew up with polio, and he was artistic right from a very early age. And he would go out painting out in the open. And on one occasion, it was a really hot day, and he had a trilby hat on, and got hotter and hotter. So eventually, he bent over and dropped his hat on the floor. He carried on painting with his mouth. And after a couple of minutes, he suddenly realised that people were coming and putting money in his hat. And then he realised that not only were they putting money in his hat, but they weren't actually looking at the painting that he was producing. And it struck him that they were giving him the money because he was painting by mouth. And they weren't necessarily looking and appreciating the painting that he was producing. And he was it was a very negative thing for him because he'd been through art college, he'd done his degree, and all his other able-bodied counterparts were all out there earning a living. And so he believed really strongly that just because you're painting your mouth or your foot, you should be able to make a living. And so he started looking after the war, he started looking for other artists. Specifically to start with, just mouth painters, and in 1957 found 17 artists, mostly mouth painters, but a few that painted with their feet. And he drew them together. One of the things he wanted the association to be was completely neutral. You know, after the war, he didn't want it to be political or religious in any way. And one of the only places to have a home in those days was Liechtenstein. And I expect most of you know where that is. And that's been our home actually since 1957, and that's because it was a neutral country, but also he was quite wise because there wasn't any business tax there. So he was a wise guy. So he died. The association's gone on, and we now have about 800 artists in 80 countries around the world. We have 40 publishing houses. And what we do as artists, we produce in Keith's case, wonderful paintings, and they then get published on cards and calendars and wrapping paper around the world, and that's where we get our income. So we sell that to the public, and then the money comes back that pays our artist every month. So all the artists around the world get supported financially. So we're a bit like any company. We start on the bottom ladder as a student, and we're always looking for new artists. So we look in spinal injury units, we look for people who've got MS, things like that, and people that maybe never painted in their lives, but we try to get them painting, and we give them financial support so that they can get art materials and a tutor, and they get better and better, and gradually work their way up the ladder. So they become a student, and then an associate, and then a full member. And both Keith and I are very fortunate are now full members. And that means that you're earning a good living. You earn a living that we all expect to have a mortgage and go on holiday and do all the things as nice as we want to do. So the association in England is very unusual in the fact that we have a charitable trust. Stengel was very adamant that we're a business. But in the UK, we got a request back in 1988 for one of our ladies who bought our cards, and she left us some money. And of course, as a business, we couldn't take it. So we decided that we would start a charity, and our charity, it's a long name, it's the MFPA Trust Fund for the Training of Disabled Children in the Arts. And we make awards for kids, maybe somebody with a disability who wants to learn drumming, or they want to do ballet, or painting, or we have special needs schools. And then 5 years ago, we started the Living Heart Awards, and I've always had a problem with the word disability. I've grown up. I was born with no arms, and I've always used my feet and my mouth and my chin to do everything that you do with your hands. And disability to me has always been a negative word. Any word with dis in front of it, if you think about it, are negative words. And actually, my disability or my life has never been negative. I've had a really positive one. And so I've always been looking for this word that describes me. And we were down in Bristol, down at the Balloon Festival, doing a small exhibition. And normally when there's children around, I have a pile of postcards, and I ask them their name, and I write their name in bubble writing, and I do a little cartoon, and I give it to them with my foot. And there was a young lad called Adam, and he came over, he was 10, and I did this, and I gave it to him. And he turned around, he walked about 3 paces and stopped. And his parents and I were sort of looking at him thinking, yeah, what's he doing? And he eventually, after a couple of seconds, he turned around and came back and he said, "Thank you so much for your picture. I love your uniqueness." And that was it to me, that was it. You know, we are all unique in a way that we are. And some of us, can't use our legs, some of us don't have arms, some of us are handsome like me, and others aren't quite. So we're unique. And that's where the Unique Art Awards, it was to encourage kids with uniqueness to be able to take part. One thing that's really come out of the Unique Art Awards for me is that I grew up with my friend Mike, went to school with me here. I grew up with disability. You know, my parents run a holiday home for kids with disabilities, and I went to school with kids with uniqueness. But learning difficulties has never really struck me. And through the Unique Art Awards, we're getting a lot of kids applying that are on the spectrum, autism and things like that. And it's been a real eye-opener to me because it's made me realise that these kids are so creative and they're not given the chance. And a lot of the time, it's, when you have a kid with autism, it's not positive. People, when you go shopping and they're shouting in the shops, it's not a positive thing. And when they come and win an award and their families are there, it's a very emotional for them because it might be the first time in their life that their son at 21 has received something that's positive. So the Unique Art Awards, I think, is one of the most inspirational things that we do. And we're looking for sponsorship. So when you go back, make sure you go to your guides and say, oh, this would be a good thing to help you. But that's about us. Do you want to say anything?
Well, just to talk about painting, about art, really. And just to say that Tom and I are complete contrast in the way we look at the world through a graphically trained artist and me behind you on the walls there, figuratively as well, and traditionally trained. So it's been an interesting way to complement each other, really. We're very lucky to be given this space, as Tom said, just from the fact that there are lots of our artists within the MFPA that haven't got that opportunity and wouldn't be comfortable in a space like this. Fortunately, Tom and I have had that experience a few more years than others, and to showcase our work in this phenomenal environment is quite special, very special in fact. So the fact that a company comes and wants to hold their event here makes it extra special as well. Regardless of the fact you buy anything or not, it's the fact that you take time to be here as well. So my painting, just lastly to say, is really about light, about life, about joy, and the celebration of nature, and all those good things that go together with it. They reflect a moment in time which it's taken me, I'm 23 years into this and I'm still learning lots of the time. To observe light in all the different seasons and to recognise the joy of just breathing and singing each day. And that's what I have had the pleasure of doing. So that's how I'd like to bring things to a close now. We both said an awful lot, but come and talk to us individually later. Thank you very much.
And Cindy's going to shake the bucket, aren't you, Cindy?
Are you?
Because we are raising money for our charity, and there's a nice bucket over there to put your £1 coins in. So if you're interested in helping, that'd be great. Well, thank you for coming. I mean, this has really made our exhibitions beautiful. People who are interested. And I'm here now till Sunday, and then keep seeing next week. And yeah,
And we'll both be demonstrating as well. Yeah.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
You're welcome.